Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Wakefield High School, the spanking brand new Wakefield High School. The Wakefield Warriors and Yorktown Patriots set to do battle here in this great Arlington County rivalry. I'm Afshin Banab, along with my good friend and partner, Christopher Williams. And Chris, I'm looking forward to a good game here tonight.
I think it's going to be a great contest between two well-coached teams. Two teams that are going to, they know each other pretty well. And I think it's going to come down to a nice. I don't think it's going to be a lot of points scored. I don't think it's going to be one of those good old-fashioned shootouts. I think it's going to be a lot of defense going on tonight.
A defensive battle, you say. Wakefield is 5-1, 3-0 in Conference 13 play. Yorktown 3-3, 1-1 in Conference 6. In the middle of the pack with Washington Lee. You talk about good coaching staffs on these two teams. They know each other very well. Wayne Hogwood was at Yorktown as an assistant for many years under Bruce Hanson. He is back home at Wakefield.
Exactly. Hey, it's pretty cool because I got a chance to talk to both coaches last night, and one of the things I asked him was, what is it like seeing the other guy on the sideline? And Wayne made a good point that he talked about how, he still talks to Bruce once or twice a week. And he said he does it because Bruce is a smart coach and that he still has a lot of things to learn about coaching football. So he really enjoys talking to Bruce, picking his brain, and they bounce a lot of ideas back and forth off each other. One of the things that he did say, though, is that it's a lot of fun coaching against Bruce and that he hopes to get a win before Bruce retires. Or as he said, he hopes to steal one before Bruce retires. And when I asked Bruce Hanson the same question, what Bruce said was that it's a little different for him because he didn't have a brother who coached football. So he's had assistant coaches who've gone on to be assistant coaches at other schools, but he's never had like an assistant coach become a head coach. And so, it's a little tough for him to coach against Wayne. He says he enjoys the coaching against him. He wants to win the game, I think, just as bad as Wayne does. But so I think you got two coaches that know each other very well, assistant coaches that know each other very well. So, I think it's going to be a pretty I think they're going to play the cards close to the vest tonight.
We shall see. Yorktown set to kick off here to Wakefield on their new stadium. The Wakefield Warriors having one of the best seasons in a long time.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that you and I talked about before the game tonight is that, there's coaching turmoil and, at the University of Michigan. And one of the things that people are saying is that they need a Michigan man to come back and coach them. They're talking about Harbaugh. They need a Michigan man. And I think that's what Wakefield needed. Wakefield has a Wakefield man. Wayne went to school here. He wore the green and white. He grew up in a neighborhood with, where these kids are now. So I think, it's what Wakefield needed to.
So he can talk about what he knows back then when they actually were more of a winning type program, and Wakefield hasn't had that program in a long time. Those kinds of back-to-back seasons where they've won so many games. Yorktown has a long history of against Wakefield, and we'll see who wins here, the teacher or the pupil. But they're both very good, well-respected coaches. They're very good friends, and it's going to be, I think, not just a physical game, but it's going to be a battle of the minds between the two gentlemen.
Exactly.
So Wakefield will start off at their own 20-yard line. That ball was kicked into the end zone. And, of course, talking about a Yorktown man, not just Wayne Hogwood going home, but Riley Wilson, former Yorktown player, the quarterback. And there's a handoff, I believe, to Leon Young, who gets up close to the 25-yard line. Riley Wilson left Yorktown to go to Wakefield, and he's also a big part in that culture turnaround.
Exactly. And that's kind of one of the things that Wayne talked about earlier, but we just saw Leon Young taking the ball right there. One of the things that Wayne said that is the key to their success this season has been 24 running the football. He also thinks that's going to be a key to their win tonight. For them to win the game, they got to get up early tonight, control the line of scrimmage, and they got to get 24 to football.
Well, Young had 176 yards rushing last week, I believe, against Falls Church in their victory, their one-point victory, where Ben Klein actually kicked a field goal with 3 seconds left.
And he's coming in tonight's game with 779 yards, averaging almost 8 yards a run, 100 rushing attempts already this season, and with 6 touchdowns to go to boot.
All right, so this is now 3rd and short. There is the give to the up man. Looks like he got the forward progress enough for a first down, I believe. To the 31-yard line.
From where the referees are spotting, it looks like it's a first down.
That was Stores on the stop there for Yorktown.
Tonight's game is like, it's almost like that Tale of Two Cities almost. You got a Wakefield team who is experiencing one of the best resurgences in the region. And then you have a Yorktown team who's kind of struggling a little bit. It's been a while since they lost 3 games.
Absolutely. There is a give on the end around, and that is to the receiver. I believe that's Daquan Holmes, who crosses the 45 close to midfield. Wakefield's had quite the up and down season.
That was Simone, I think, on that one.
Or was that Ben Met Simone? That was number 6. But that was number 5, all right. Good eye, good eye. I like this new field, though.
But you see right now, Wakefield's doing what they want to do already, control the game with controlling the football.
All right.
One of the things that Coach Hogwood talked to me about last night.
Chris Wilson out of the gun, and he pitches it to the right side. Go ahead, finish your thought.
One of the things that Coach Hogwood talked to me about last night is that the key to their success this season has been that they've been able to run the football. And by running the football, that's opened up their passing game with Riley for them. But the key is that they've been able to control the clock. And if they can control the clock and manage the clock and limit the other team's offense on the field, that's been a big part of their success this season.
Okay, now we have second down. Ball right at midfield. Wilson with one receiver to the left side. There's a handoff. Leon Young crosses the Yorktown 40. Check that. That's Kareem Hall. He crosses the Yorktown 40-yard line. Nice run right up the gut there.
And you can see right now Wakefield has controlled the line of scrimmage. I mean, they've been able to do whatever they want to do. They haven't lost any yards yet. Everything's been positive yards. And even talking, Bruce thought that Wakefield was a little better than them up front, but he felt like his guys had to get up there and had to fight to win that battle between the big uglies.
1st and 10 now for Wakefield at the Yorktown 40-yard line. Wilson throws it to the left side. This one is complete, and that is to Chris Robertson. Picks up about 7 yards on that one. Nice little play action there.
And when you run the ball as well as Wakefield's run the ball early tonight, and that's going to set up the play action pass.
It certainly did there on that one. There you get a kind of a look at the press box. That's the hand of Chris Williams you saw. 8:38 to go here in the first quarter. Coming to you from Wakefield High School. That is the brand new press box.
The dimly lit press box.
Yes,
but actually, it's actually better to see with the lights off than it is with the lights on in here.
That's why we are in the dark. All right, Wilson now. The fake, he's rolling out to his right. He throws it up top. He's got a receiver. This one is incomplete. Intended for big Justin Moore. I like that call, though, Chris.
Oh, it's a great call. And one of the things about Justin Moore, he's averaging 25 yards a catch.
Right.
And he has 5 catches for 125 yards this season. I mean, so he's their big play receiver. Here we are on the 33-yard line, and they go deep for him.
Yep, 3rd down now. Handoff. Close to the 30-yard line, maybe just inside the 30. That's Kareem Hall on that run. He just broke a big 7 or 8 yard run a couple plays ago. Let's see, there is 8:09 to go here in the first quarter. Wakefield
now
opening
this one's
possession.
pretty close. And I thought the referees are going to go for a measurement, but they're calling 4th down. Now, this is one of those things that one of the coaches on the sideline need to be yelling over to Coach Hogwood to ask the referees to give him a measurement.
Right.
Because, we're looking at the sticks across the field, and it looks pretty close.
It is pretty close. That ball is marked right at the 30. It's almost like the ball needs to be – the sticks might be just on the other side of that 30-yard line for a first down. That's not even a yard. It's maybe a half a yard. But they're going for it. I formation.
Oh, you
Wilson
got
under center.
Home game.
Yeah, you got
against,
to.
Against a county rival, 30-yard line, opening drive, you go for it.
They did. Leon Young got it. Picked up a few extra. So first down. 7:40 to go. 7:44 to go here in the first quarter. Ball right at the 27-yard line. Wilson with the fake. He's rolling out again. Under pressure. He's got to get rid of it. Still on his feet. Finally brought down by about 2 or 3 Yorktown players. He ran about 30 yards there, Chris.
He did.
And he got nothing.
And one of the things that, I think we're going to see a lot tonight, if you look at that play right there, that's a Yorktown's 28 waggle.
Okay.
And it just, it looks just like the same way that Yorktown runs their waggle. So you can just kind of see the similarities right there between the two coaches right there. First time that Wakefield's lost yardage all night.
That's the first play that, yes. All right, long distance here now, 6:50 to go. Man in motion. There it is. That is the give to number 6, Bennett Seymoun. He didn't get very far. Bennett Seymoun, the 5'8", 145-pound senior.
Looks like he was able to get back, maybe pick up a yard past the original line of scrimmage. But this is one of those things, Absheen, that you and I talk about every time we do a game together. It's 3rd and 9. This isn't one of those manageable third downs that coaches like to be at. They like to be 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. Anything over a 3rd and 5, that's a tough play.
It is.
So you really got to dial up something to pick up those yardage.
Time for Coach Hogwood and Riley Wilson to dial up something here. 3rd down and long. Wilson out of the gun, looking across the middle. He's got a receiver, and that one's complete right down inside the 5 at about the 2-yard line. Isaiah Archer, the 6'2", 155-pound junior, with a nice catch right up the middle. So this will be 1st and goal now for Wakefield.
And Archer's actually their leading receiver with 7 catches, but yardage-wise, he's a few yards behind Justin Moore.
Might have picked some of that up here, though.
Yeah, he might catch him.
1st and goal now for Wakefield. Up the middle. Looks like it's a touchdown, Wakefield. Kareem Hall.
And one of the things that, when we were looking at the stats for Wakefield, one of the things that I noticed, when they're running the ball, although Young has the most attempts and the most yardage, there's still 4 or 5 guys who are still getting carries and still getting yardage. So they're doing a good job of spreading the ball around.
Leon Young is one of those that gets a lot of the carries, but Kareem Hall is doing a good job tonight.
Exactly.
Picking up the slack.
And here we look like a little different PAT formation, just to kind of spread out the defense and make them think about maybe we might fake it.
All right, Klein now. Snap good, hold good, kick long enough. And it is good. Ben Klein coming off that big field goal with 3 seconds left against Falls Church. He is a transfer from Oklahoma. Came over here to Wakefield. They're lucky to have that sophomore.
Exactly. And one of the things that Coach Hogwood wanted to do, one of the things that he's done all season, what has led to Wakefield's success is that they've been able to control the clock.
Yeah.
These are 12-minute quarters, and Yorktown's going to get the ball with 5.5 minutes left. And
Wakefield took a lot of time off that clock in this opening drive.
And when that happens, that puts a lot of pressure on the offense because the offense then feels like they have to score quick. Oh wow, they kept the ball for a long time, so we got to go out there. We got to score quick. We got to get back on the board really fast to kind of match that, and that leads to a lot of mistakes on the offense. So one of the things that Yorktown has to do is take their time and move the ball down the field, just like Wakefield did.
Now is their opportunity.
It's not like playing a team like Hayfield where they're no huddle, right? That fast-paced offense. They're running 4 or 5 plays, and they're running 2 plays in 30 seconds.
Yes.
Where this is a little bit more methodical on the Wakefield side tonight.
All right, Klein now kicking off. And that ball will go out of bounds.
It's going to be a legal procedure penalty against the Warriors, which is going to end up giving the Patriots pretty good field position.
Pretty darn good field position, I would say. Not too shabby for their opening drive where they'll start. Patriots, of course, are headed by their leader, Joe McBride, one of the top quarterbacks in Northern Virginia. He's a big fella, too.
McBride's coming into the game with 843 yards passing, a QBR 7.6%, and 9 touchdown passes coming in the season. So far this season through 6 games.
All right, here he is, ball at the 35-yard line. He is under center on the first play of the game for Yorktown offensively. Here's the give. Over on the far side, up close to the 40-yard line. I believe that is Jack Storrs, who's also had a big year for Yorktown, Chris.
Storrs coming into the game tonight, 71 rushing attempts, 606 yards for the Patriots, averaging 9 yards a carry, and 6 touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns for the Patriots.
Yeah, they've got sort of a two-headed monster, right, with Tavon Brown and Jack Storrs.
Tavon Brown's actually has 2 more carries, 2 more attempts than Storrs, but Storrs has twice as many yards.
All right, second down now. There is a pitch that is on the far side. And I believe that was Tavon Brown. That was not Tavon Brown.
It was Brown.
It was, okay.
Brown came in motion and took the pitch.
Got it up to right around the 45-yard line, so that's enough for a first down. Good run by Brown.
Yep, in 2 plays, Yorktown's picked up a first down.
4:55 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 Wakefield on top. All right, there's the handoff. Again, that goes to the far side. Crosses midfield, still on his feet to the Wakefield 45-yard line. Good run.
Great run by Tavon Brown. Saw the ball come out, but the referees have ruled that he was already down on the play. Now, one of the things, I was at the Yorktown game last week against Hayfield, and Yorktown they played against Hayfield for 3/4 of the game, pretty much like Wakefield's going to play them. They did a great job controlling the clock. They ran a lot of their old wing tee stuff that night. Controlled the clock, and that works. And and then they got behind a little bit and had to come back to running their present day offense of kind of chucking the ball around a little bit.
So movement in the backfield there.
Curious to see what offense Bruce is going to run tonight.
This one probably will go against Yorktown. Looked like there was movement in the backfield.
That looks like he's going to call the encroachment on the defense first.
Oh, I guess he is. All right.
Now, one of the things one of the things that kind of tip us off as to who the call is going to be against, watch where the referees throw their flag on the line of scrimmage. Right. If he throws the ball towards the offense, it's going to be against the offense. If he throws the flag on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be against the defense. Typically works out that way.
Typically, yes.
Unless the last couple of referees are back there disagreeing.
Can I disagree with him, though? I really thought there was movement in the backfield, and I
thought so too, but I thought the guy, but in high school you can't come across the line and get bagged. Right. So it looks like the Wakefield guy may have broken the plane first.
In any case, Yorktown is at the Wakefield 40-yard line.
I think that was Storrs again getting some tough yards going up the middle.
That was, so second down now. McBride, he fakes it this time. He rolls to his right. Got to do something with it. He throws. He's got a receiver. And that one is complete. I believe that was either...
It was Ben Calvert, number 20 for the Patriots.
Good catch by Calvert.
And one of the things that we saw in that play, Yorktown got a great block from Tavon Brown on the backside. As McBride was rolling out here to the right, one of the things when you roll out, you leave a guy on block sometimes on the backside because you're thinking he's not going to be able to get to the quarterback. Brown was smart enough to look back and and got that block, so it bought McBride a little bit more time to get the pass off.
Number 20 made that catch at the 20. Here is the handoff. That is just inside the 20 now, so a pickup of about maybe a yard and a half. Yeah, TCW on that one, Travis Clark Winston.
And also, you can look at the Yorktown offense also. The Yorktown offense, they spread the ball around a little bit too. You still got 6 yards. 6 guys who've gotten yards all season coming out of the backfield for the Patriots. So they do a good job of kind of spreading the wealth too.
Keeps you healthier, keeps you fresh. No doubt about it. All right. Second down now. There is a handoff again right up the middle. Another short gain. And that is Jack Stores.
Looks like he's only picked up about maybe 2 yards on that one. And here we are once again. And,
yes.
You know, it's 3rd and 6 here. It's, you know, tough call as a coach. You know, what are you going to dial up here? 3rd and 6 is a little bit out of that range that you feel comfortable.
Right now we've got 3 receivers on the left side, 1 on the near side for McBride. Spreading it out a little bit here. 3rd down 6, inside of 2 minutes now. Across the middle on the slant. And that is
Charlie Teen on that play. It looks like it was the referees ruled it incomplete.
Yes.
Charlie Teen's a former golfer from Yorktown.
That's right. You mentioned that to me one time before.
Played golf last year. He played football his freshman, sophomore year.
Okay.
Played golf his junior year, and then went back to the football team this year. Pretty versatile guy.
Well, yeah, you go from basically an individual sport to a team sport where. All right, we have. That's right. I tell you, he's one of the best field goal kickers I've seen in a long time.
Looks like 41-yard attempt.
Yes. 30. That was 36-yarder.
36.
That one is long enough for sure. And if it went between the pipes, it's good. And it did go between them. Rashane with a nice 36-yard field goal. Yorktown on the board with 3. 7-3 with 1:32 to go here in the first.
Now, the Patriots didn't get a touchdown, but they got something.
Points.
Right. They got something.
Right.
You know, and that was key. You know, that's a key. So both teams on their opening drives got points.
Right, they did. And it shows you the trust and the confidence that Hansen has in his kicker. Because I said this to you before. I think this kid can really kick. Chris,
I'm telling you, I was there last week. Absheen and Bruce put him out on a wet grass field.
He was knocking them through, huh?
He put him out there for a 45-yard attempt, and the kid just missed it. I mean, it was a driving rain on a grass field down at Hayfield last week, and the kid just missed it wide right.
Well, here he is set to kick off now.
First kickoff went into the end zone for a touchback, and if he can do that all night to get Wakefield to start on their 20-yard line, I mean, give them a long field to go. That's one of the things you have to do.
That's what he did the opening kickoff. Let's see what he does here now. Mehran Rashane. Well, this one will be at about the 5-6 yard line. This will be picked up. I believe that was Daquan Holmes, right, Chris? Number 5, Daquan Holmes, who picked it up on the far side. It's a little hard to see, at least in my case. The 5'7", 120-pound senior. Daquan Holmes is a light young fella.
Hey, but he can run fast. That's all that matters.
He can run fast, man. That's all you need to know. All right, the Warriors starting off at the 26-yard line. All right, one receiver to the right, make it 2 as a man is in motion now. There's the pitch back. Let's see, is that Leon Young? He crosses the 25 to the 26, maybe picks up a yard at the 27. Looks like it.
I think see Young taking a handoff, coming to the left side of the line of scrimmage. And, you know, at that time, it looks like Yorktown stopped and maybe gain a 1 or no yards there. I mean, the key to this game is going to be between the big uglies. I mean, who's going to control the line of scrimmage tonight is going to be the key to who wins or loses this game.
Always important.
And by big uglies, I mean the guys in the offensive defensive line.
Thank you, Keith Jackson.
Well, Nelly.
All right, second down. Is that number 20, I believe it was, Kareem Hall? Yeah.
And it seems like Wakefield must see something. You know, they must see that mismatch that they're looking for with their left side of their line of scrimmage and their right side of the Yorktown defensive line. It seems like that's where they're pounding their backs to the left side.
All right, this will be third down now. 11 seconds left here in the first quarter. Out of the gun, Riley Wilson throws it to the right side. This one is incomplete. So there are 3 ticks left. 4th down, they'll have to punt.
Good defense there by
Absolutely.
the Patriots, and they were able to stop them at the line of scrimmage for 2 plays, and then that set up that long third and 8 and put you in a passing situation, and they were able to break up the pass on that one to get a stop.
All right, good stop by Yorktown. Ben Klein now to punt. Parker Dean, the single safety.
A little different punt formation.
It is.
With the wide splits on the line. Yep. If the guys run down in their lane, it's great punt coverage for the Warriors.
And this ball will bounce around, and Yorktown will start off really good field position right about their own 48-yard line. And that'll do it for the first quarter. 7-3, Yorktown down by 4 to the home team, Wakefield Warriors.
Yeah, and one of the things I talked to, Bruce mentioned to me earlier this week that they haven't lost to the Warriors since 1995.
That's right. It's been 20 years just about.
So it's been Bruce has had pretty good success between 2 of the schools in Arlington. Coach Shapiro and the Generals have been able to get them twice now.
Yeah. Once
in the playoffs, and then last year during the regular season. So Washington Lee during that time, the streak against Washington Lee was a little bit longer than the streak against Wakefield. It was almost 30 years.
8 years, I believe. Yeah, something like
that.
So
I mean, so that streak was a little bit longer. Wakefield had a little more success in the past couple decades against the Patriots than the Generals.
Okay, here we go. They switch sides, just a 4-yard walk, and Yorktown's now going from right to left. There's the fake pitch to Tavon Brown up the middle, I believe, to Stores. Good little fake and misdirection play.
They ran that pitch to Tavon Brown earlier a few times in the opening drive. So, hey, one of the things that you have to do is you can't come out with just 4 or 5 plays.
No.
One play that, one action or one play that you run, you got to be able to run 4 or 5 plays off of that. In football, we kind of call it the series. You got to have, this series, this package, and things like that. So you don't just come out in that one formation. Okay, he's going to motion, he's getting the pitch. Got to mix it up a little bit.
Pick up of about 3 there. There's a run right up the middle. It's right around the 45, 44-yard line. Jack Stores once again.
And you look at Jack Stores, he's not a big kid. He's 5'11", 190 pounds.
Yeah.
But you look at him and you look at the running back for Wakefield, Leon Young.
Right.
When you look at them on the field, they're 2 tough runners who are going up the middle.
They are. And they're going up the middle, and they're going through some people that are quite a bit bigger.
Oh yeah. The linemen are bouncing off of these guys tonight.
Wakefield showing blitz. There's a handoff, and that is to Tavon Brown. He's got a wide open side on the side, and he's pushed out of bounds finally. Tavon Brown with a nice long run.
And what opened up that play for him is as soon as he got the ball and he got outside of the line of scrimmage, he paused for one little second and let a block set up, and then that just freed him. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have the replay tonight, but if that was available, you could just see that one little pause. Patience as a running back is one of the most important things. Just be a little bit patient to set up your blocks, and he was able to do it on that play and found big success.
Patience certainly paid off there. Ball right around the 10-yard line?
Looks like it's going to be on the 12.
12-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 12. Early on here in the second quarter. McBride now with the handoff. Nice spin move. Inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line, maybe the 2, and that is Jack Stores again. Good move. And then that spin move, he got a couple extra yards after that.
And we just talked about how him and Young are kind of big kids running through the middle. But when you see the big guy like that put the spin move, he hit the X as he's playing Madden and hit the spin move on him. Hey, you just got to sit back up. We got to sit up here and appreciate it.
It is fun. That's exactly what it is, hitting that X and making that player spin.
And when you're the defender, that's not the move you're expecting from this big burly guy coming at you.
They officially mark it at the 2, so that's a 1st down. 1st and goal now for Yorktown.
Pistol formation for the Patriots.
And it looks like it is Stores again, and he is in for a touchdown. Rewarding him for such good play early on, too.
The offense was set up. They ran the ball.
Yep.
They ran the ball. They were able to get positive yardage pretty much every time they handed the ball off. Took the ball right down the field. Great job of moving the ball down the field by the Patriots and rewarded the fullback with the touchdown.
All right, Rashane now with the extra point. Snap good, hold good, kick. And it's, of course, long enough and good. Makes it 10-7. Yorktown on top with 10:03 to go in the first half.
And one of the things that Coach Hansen told me last night is that it was imperative for the Patriots to match the intensity of Wakefield tonight.
That is one of the keys to the game, right?
One of the keys to the game that Bruce talked about is that, they have to come out here and match the intensities. These guys are coming in the game 5-1. Yorktown's 3-3, so, one of the things that Wayne told me is that he had to tell his guys, hey, we can't get caught up in the name of the jersey.
Right.
Yeah, we're playing Yorktown, but, we can beat Yorktown. And it's funny because one of the things that Bruce talked about was that Bruce said to me, he goes, those guys aren't scared of us. He's like, they have
Right.
no reason to be scared of us. We can win some games because, we are Yorktown. And people are like, oh, it's going to be a tough game against
Right.
Yorktown because the way that the team has played in the past. But Bruce said come in tonight, he's pretty sure that these guys in green have no fear for the guys in white.
Isn't it funny, Chris? Sometimes we just look at players if you don't really know the game so much and you say, okay, there's just somebody is more talented than another. But a lot of it has to do with how you outthink a team, how you not only outthink a team, but the psychology you have to use. That ball went in the end zone on your own team to get them revved up
Exactly.
for an opponent, no matter how good that opponent is.
And one of the things you also have to remember, one of the things about Coach Hansen is that he played at William & Mary and he played for Lou Holtz.
Yes, he did.
And one of the things that, Lou Holtz, when he was at Notre Dame and they would have to go play Navy had beat him in 100 years or whatever.
I know.
But Lou Holtz would be on TV talking about how, I don't know how we're going to do it. I'm so worried. I hope my guys, and it's like, come on, coach.
Yeah. Yeah, there was another coach in this area like that. All right, first of all, Riley Wilson now. Cross the middle. This one's intercepted by the Yorktown Patriots on the far side. And that's going to be a touchdown. Let's see, or was he knocked out?
Yep, they're calling touchdown.
I have not seen a call on the field.
We did see a touchdown.
Touchdown, okay.
On the far side of the field.
Jack Stores with a nice interception.
Pick six for the Patriots.
Yep. Stores with a pick six, and just like that, 7-0 Wakefield goes to 16-7 Yorktown.
And Stores going back-to-back on the scores. He scores on offense, and then he comes back a play later and scores on defense.
All right, Rashane now. Kick long enough, and it is good. So it's 17-7 with 9:51 to go, and that's a change of pace, I guess I could call it.
Oh, without a doubt. And one of the things that I keep harping on both coaches because I really got to spend a lot of time with the coaches last night while they were at the freshman and JV games. One of the things that Bruce said that we talked about a few minutes ago, he had to come out here, the Patriots had to come out here and match the intensity of the Warriors. He told his kids all week, hey guys, we got to treat this like a home game. We've been on the road so much, we have to treat it like a home game. Get your friends. Tweet, get out there on social media. Get the kids to come out to the game. Because typically, both schools when they travel, there are not a lot of kids, coming to those cross county games sometimes. But he was, just tell them, get your friends, get them to come to the game. We have to come out here. We have to match the intensity of the Warriors. And so far, that pick six may help.
Well, it's a beautiful pick six. Nice catch and return by Stores to the end zone. Yorktown with 17 unanswered points. All right, Rashane now with the kickoff. Let's see if this one goes back in the end zone, and it will. And Wakefield, once again, for the third time, will start at their own 20-yard line.
Now, what that pick six does is that it puts Wakefield down that tough position because they want to come out and they want to control the clock. They're going to run the ball, be very meticulous as they matriculate the ball down the field. So, but now, as we talked about earlier, when Wakefield went down and scored, the pressure's now on the Yorktown offense that they have to go out there and they have to match that, and then you try to rush it.
Right.
So Wakefield has to stick to the game plan, control the football, control the clock, and take their time moving the ball down the field.
Wilson with a handoff right up the middle, about the 23, 24-yard line.
And that was Young once again.
That was Young. Actually, mark it at the 25. Leon Young with a good run.
And switch it up that time. It looks like Young this time came to the right side.
Yeah.
Instead of the left side. The left side, this time they're going to maybe try to pound the right side and try to, wear these defensive linemen in Yorktown down.
Here's Wakefield out of the eye, nothing doing. And that is Leon Young. He goes down hard. So they read that one.
And it looks like they had a little bit more success running the ball left than they have running the ball right tonight.
Yeah, you did say that earlier. This time they went to the right side.
It could be, Coach Hogwood's thinking, hey, we're going to wear both sides of their defensive line out. So in the fourth quarter, we're able to take control and move the ball at will.
Officially a loss of 1 on that one, Chris. So it's third down. And there's a flag.
Looks like it's going to be moving on the Warriors. Procedure call against the Warriors. Now, one of the things that Riley Wilson has to do right now in his huddle is that he has to calm his guys down. Guys, settle down, settle down. We're still in this.
Right.
It's a lot of football left. Settle down, settle down. We're not out of this. Let's stick to what we do.
All right, third down now. Long, and there's a pitch out. I believe that was Young again. And he is short of the first down. Yeah, as you said, there's a lot of time left. I mean, we're talking about 8.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. So,
but it's one of those things when you know that what's been successful for you is to control the ball, control the clock, you feel that sense of urgency. Now, here again, we got this punt formation by the Warriors. Now, the key to kick coverage is staying in your lane.
That's right.
And by widening these guys' splits out a little bit,
that
there's
one's
a block.
Blocked into the end zone. Yorktown recovers, and it's a touchdown. Big mistake there. Big play there.
With those wide splits, it also opens you up for the block.
It does, and there it is.
We were unable to get out on that one because if those guys jump in between the guys in the splits, they're going to have a free run to the punter.
And just like that, Wakefield now, pending this Roshane point. Didn't quite get a number on the person who blocked that one, did you?
I didn't.
Couldn't tell. Let's see. This will be 24 now.
And to his mom and dad, we apologize.
Yes, we do apologize. We got the screen here. I don't know if we can open up these windows. It'd be nice. There you go. That's better. 24-7. Wakefield, Yorktown. 7:56 to go. Wakefield in their opening drive scored on an 80-yard drive, and then Yorktown now with 24 unanswered points. We come to you from Wakefield High School, the brand new Wakefield High School. Comcast 69, Fios 38, Arlington Independent Media, Afshin Benab, and Chris Williams.
Afshin, we came in tonight thinking that this wasn't going to be a high-scoring game.
Well,
really,
right now for one
really
team.
thought that both teams were going to try to control the clock, slow this game down, and limit possessions. Because it's hard to score if you don't have the football. Granted, Yorktown scored on a blocked punt and on an interception. But it's tough to score if you don't have the football. So I really thought it was going to be a low-scoring game, and here we are, not even halfway through the second quarter, and
we've got 31 total points. Yeah. All right, Roshane, let's see if he gets this one back into the end zone. And he does.
Such a weapon.
He is.
It's if you're constantly giving the other team the long field, 80 yards to go every time, it's
your
tough
chances
road to
are
hoe.
pretty good. Your chances are pretty good on the defensive side when you give the other team, when the other team has to start off on their own 20, literally every single kickoff.
And for a lot of teams that have good return men, they're neutralized.
They are.
He really neutralizes the best return man on the other team because he can put it in the end zone every time.
Okay, 1st and 10 now. Wilson with the handoff right up the middle.
Liam again on the run.
7:40 to go.
But Young's picking up. He's still picking up 3-4 yards.
Yeah.
And as a coach, we talk about it. I know it's all that coach speak, but 3 yards in the cloud of dust.
Right?
3, then it make that first down a little bit easier.
Wilson with a fake this time. He throws it out, and that one is complete to number 34, Chris Robertson.
Now that's what shows you what the play action pass does for you. When you have so much success running the football, you just play action pass, you fake like you're running the ball, the receivers are wide open.
And that was a good catch and run by Robertson. Ball moved up now to about the 42-yard line. 1st and 10 for Wakefield.
And when you can run the football the way that Wakefield can run the football, it opens up the play action pass for Wilson all night long.
Wilson, this time he gives it to Seymoun, and he goes around the corner on the edge, and he picks up a few.
And just like that, Wakefield's come out from the 20-yard line. They're almost at the 50 already, just in a matter of a couple plays. Ran the ball to Young one time, opens up the play action pass for the long pass out here, and then they're picking up 6 yards on this run right here. So this is what Wakefield has to do. Keep mixing it up to run in the pass all night long.
And here they go again. Wilson now. Rolling, looking, throwing. He's got a receiver.
Looks like
that is Kareem El Husseini.
I think that was Justin Moore on that one.
Justin Moore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the
Justin
big tight end, number 99.
The big tight end. About a 50-yard catch.
And one of the things that we've been able to see when they're looking for that big pass, they're looking for 99 Justin Moore.
He is. Justin Moore's a big fella.
The big guy's averaging 25 yards a catch. So
well, there's a 50. There's a double right there. That's a double, Chris. That's going to pick up his average a little bit.
Exactly. So whenever we can definitely say whenever they're looking for a big play, they're going to throw the ball up to Moore.
All right, out of the eye now, 1st and goal. This was touchdown Wakefield. 5:49 to go.
And just like that, boom, Wakefield's answer.
Young with his first score of the night.
Great drive by the Warriors. Just what they needed, just what this crowd needed. The crowd's got back into the game a little bit. Yorktown with those 2 scores had kind of taken them out a little bit. It looks like they're right back in the ball game.
The way they were driving, that they were going to open up a big pass play, and there it was to Justin Moore, 50 yards from Riley Wilson. I don't know if Riley Wilson's a more dangerous passer or runner, Chris. This kick is, of course, good by Klein.
Well, when you got the play-action pass, the way that they have it tonight, because they're having so much success handing the ball off to Young and the crew, Wilson doesn't have to run.
He doesn't have to, no.
Because those guys are open.
And they're catching. As long as they're catching.
He can sit back there and look like, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, because those guys are going to be open.
Well, he doesn't seem, he can roll out and throw it. He's effective that way. He's effective out of the pocket.
And it's funny because, both these kids, play quarterback, receiver at Yorktown. And it's really cool to see these guys on 2 opposite sides of the field tonight. We're talking about McBride and Wilson.
Right.
They split a lot of time at quarterback and receiver during that time at Yorktown together. And I think it's really great to see these two kids come out here tonight and really showcase what the two of them are capable of doing. They're kind of similar in a little bit too. They're kind of built the same way. They're big, tall guys. Got great. They both got big arms.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's they're really similar in what they do. So
they're both right around 6 feet 4 inches. McBride may be a little heavier, around 210 pounds, I believe, and Wilson's about 190. So after 24 unanswered points, Wakefield scores. Yorktown now on the kickoff. There was a big hit.
Kilgo on the return there for the Patriots, and he kind of waited. One of the things, we saw Wakefield kick the ball out of bounds once. But you got to remember, as soon as that ball is kicked, it's a live football.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You can't be letting the ball bounce around and just hang out down there because Wakefield can come down here and get the football.
Not sure who is down. I've heard 62 and 52. Not sure which one is. There is a player down on the field, though, with 5:43 to go.
Yeah, I see. I'm on my way down.
Here in the first half. That was a big collision there with Kilgo and a couple of Wakefield Warriors.
But the good thing to remember is that at all these high school games, it's required that the teams have a team doctor here. So whoever's the home team, they supply a team doctor.
Right.
A lot of times the team doctor, will travel with the team also. So, we got a medical physician on the sideline. And then all these games are also covered by the medic squad as well. So there's always going to be an ambulance here. Just in case something happens, they're here to cover.
They're here to cover, right. So with 5:43 to go, Yorktown up on top of Wakefield 24-14 here in the second quarter from Wakefield High School. And we have an injury timeout there on the kickoff. Zane Kilgo collided with a player. There was a few players actually that collided with each other right here on the near side by right around the 17-yard line. There is a Wakefield player down. I've heard two numbers pop up, so I'm not going to speculate.
And we just saw the director of student activities from here at Wakefield, Noelle Deskins, make her way down here. She was just up here in the booth with us, kind of overseeing things from the booth. And you see her make her, she was very concerned about the player and wanted to make sure she was down there to check.
So we'll see if we can, hopefully this is the medical team, as you said, Christopher, they're down there on the field.
And you never want to see a kid down on the field this long.
No.
It's never want to, you never want to see a kid get down on the field at any time.
No.
But you never want to see a kid down this long on the field.
I don't know if Charles can hear us. Maybe we can take a break right now. I think we should probably do that, Mr. Charles Smith and Nathan Bynum. So why don't we do that? We'll take a quick break right now. Arlington Independent Media, Comcast 69, Fios 38. We'll be back after this. All right, we are back. Second half action soon to be underway in any minute now. 31-14. Wakefield with two good drives. Except for that, Yorktown's put the kibosh on the Wakefield Warriors for pretty much the first half. Chris.
The Patriots only punted one time tonight. And that punt actually went out of bounds. Actually went in the end zone for a touchback. But they were able to score twice on defense.
Right.
A punt block
yeah.
and then also a pick six. So, the offense has kind of controlled the ball a little bit as well. So, I mean, let's come on and see, these are two good coaching staffs, two good head coaches. Let's see what adjustments were made in the second half.
All right, here we go with said adjustments, and that ball goes out of bounds.
And that's the
And-
third one
Yeah,
that we've seen tonight of the kickoff going out of bounds. This is game 7. It's game 7 of the season.
yeah.
These guys have been out here practicing since August 4th.
Yep.
And here we are halfway through, almost through October. Those are mistakes that can't happen at this point in the season.
Yeah, that's a big one, too, especially with Yorktown up 17. Now they get the ball,
They get great field position.
yeah, at the 35-yard line. All right, McBride under center now. He hands off. And there's a good run stuffer, if you ask me.
Looked like that was 46 Sean Coleman taking the handoff there.
Yeah,
Nothing doing, nothing doing. And just on that first play right there, we saw a lot of inspiration, with the Warriors coming out of the locker room on that play right there. I think, if they can come out here and get a good stop, get some of that momentum back on their side. Momentum, she's a funny thing. She
right.
She can be your best friend one moment,
and then it can be the devil the next.
and that's the first time tonight we've seen a little confusion on the Yorktown offense. You don't want to burn a timeout this early in the half. It's the second play of the half.
Right.
And just like that, they burned a timeout. And we saw on both of the drives at the end of the quarter,
Yeah.
Yorktown went down and scored, and those timeouts were vital. Wakefield came down, almost scored. They had a fumble, but timeouts are vital. You can't burn a timeout within the first 40 seconds of the
No,
half.
and they did just that, and there was mass confusion along the line. Ben Calvert, one of the receivers, you could see him he was very expressive with his hands, like what's going on or what's the call or something like that.
A lot of times, coaches like they'll tell the kids in the locker room, all right, guys, these are our first 4 plays coming back out.
Yeah, remember them.
And you just can't have that confusion.
Okay, McBride now in the pocket. He finds a receiver over to the near side.
Charlie Teen
And that
again
is-
on that
yeah,
reception.
Charlie Teen.
Looks like he's going to be about a yard and a half short. And that's one of those plays right there as a receiver. Luckily it was second down instead of third down, but you have to be aware of the sticks. You have to know where the first
Right.
down is and run your pattern so that you're able to pick up the first down. But the good thing for the Patriots, they are in that manageable 3rd and 2. 3rd and short is where you always want to be. Looks like they're going to be 3rd and 2 here.
It'll be 3rd and 2. That was an 8-yard pickup. Big play for Yorktown, opening drive of the second half. There's movement along the line. And that's not good.
Now I've seen several Yorktown games this season. Actually, I've seen 5 of their 6 games. This will make 6 of their 7 games so far this season. One of the things that McBride's been able to do is use his cadence to get the defense to jump offside. He's been able to do it all season. Tonight, on that play right there, it looked like it actually worked against the offense because the Patriots jumped that time. But he's been able to use his cadence, and good quarterbacks are able to do that. It just, it keeps the defense off their toes a little bit. On their toes a little bit, I
Right.
should say.
Wakefield showing blitz. Here's McBride. He's going to keep it and run it. He crosses the 40 to the 45, and then he's knocked out of bounds. Enough for the first down, of course.
And he was able to get out of bounds pretty much untouched by a great late block by Parker Dean. Parker Dean was able,
stepped in.
He was able to kind of get a little block on it, chip the defender just a little bit to kind of keep McBride untouched. But he saw nothing was there, and he was able to get enough to get the first down. I mean, both these teams have great senior leadership at the quarterback position. I mean, as a coach, that's what you die for every year.
Right.
You need that senior leadership, and then when you get it at the quarterback position, it's just a bonus.
Here's McBride out of the gun now, rolling to his right. Looking. He's got a receiver on the far side, and that one is complete.
Looks like that was Tanner Patton, I think, that time for the
yeah.
Patriots, number 12. And Patton did a good job that time running his route deep enough for the first down, but he had to come back to get to pass, which is good because if you come back to the ball, you're in a better position to catch the ball than the defender is. You're getting closer to the ball. That way the defender can't kind of undercut your route to pick the ball off. So, but they're in this great position, 2nd and 1.
Nice catch by the 6-foot senior, Tanner Patton. All right, McBride this time rolling the other way. Goes back the other side, and that's complete. Nice play by the Patriots.
And when
Real
you have,
good play, Christopher.
it's a great play call for Yorktown because it looks like the Wakefield defense have been a little bit more aggressive here in the second half. And this first drive coming out of the locker room, a little more aggressive, a little more hungry. So what do you do when you have an aggressive defense?
You let 'em
You
go.
run a screen.
Yeah.
And that was a great play call, kind of rolling out because you see McBride roll out all night long, kind of roll out, sneak Stores back to the other side. I mean, the defenders just ran right by him, and he was over there all by himself with a couple linemen.
Stores with a good run after that catch. You like the versatility of a Jack Stores, how they use him a lot, not just running up the middle. They use him in screens. I've seen it all year long. He'll get passes in the flat. He's not afraid to butt heads with any defender.
No, not at all. You saw him finish that run right there. I'll kind of look like Walter Payton a little bit. Just finishing the run. Walter Payton, Earl Campbell. Yeah. Guys like that, Emmitt Smith, they're going to finish off the run. They're going to punish you for trying to tackle them.
That's right. McBride now rolling out to his right again. He's got some green in front of him. He crosses the 10-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds. Good run by McBride. And once again, they see something on that defense. Like you said, that aggressive defense. They're taking full advantage of it. And wherever there's an open spot, a player goes to it, whether it's McBride or a receiver or even a runner.
And that was another rollout pass right there. All his receivers were covered. And, McBride, as a quarterback, you kind of have this little clock in your head. It just kind of ticks away. When you're out of time
3,
and you
2,
got to go.
1.
And that time right there, he did a good job of kind of going back on the backside, on the short side of the field toward the boundary, and was still able to pick up a lot of yards.
Well, now they're in a 1st and goal situation. McBride now, he'll keep this one. He gets close to the goal line.
That's a good play call there by the Patriots. Looked like McBride might be limping a little bit. But you kind of saw he kind of faked it was quick to happen, but he kind of faked the quarterback sneak and then kind of took it off tackle a little bit. I mean, a lot of times you see the defense down there at the 2-3 yard line. A lot of times you might see a quarterback sneak. And when you get a kid the size of McBride, that play works because he's so tall he can stick the ball out there.
He's a big guy. He's 6'4".
But then, once again, you see a mistake here by the Patriots with a legal procedure penalty. And when you're inside the red zone, when you're down at the 1-2 yard line, you can't make those mistakes. Yeah. Those are what we call in football drive killers.
This one will go against the Patriots.
And they've had 2 of them in this drive.
Yeah.
They were able to overcome the first one. But, it's hard to overcome 2 mistakes like that in the same drive and still get points out of it.
Okay, goal to go here for Yorktown. McBride looking to his left. He's got a receiver, and it is a touchdown for Yorktown.
Looks like that was Charlie Team for the Patriots that time.
One of the looked like it was just a simple play that they just pulled out of his pocket real quick. He saw.
One of the things that you want to do when you're down on and the short field right there when you're inside the red zone, One of the plays that's a great offensive play is a quick slant, and that time you saw it right there. Quick slant, take one step, boom, cut to the post, and he was open.
Okay, yep. Oh. Was this blocked?
Wasn't blocked. It looked like it was.
Couldn't even see.
It looked like it might have been a bad snap on that one, and Parker Dean, being the senior that he is, just knew it was going to get blocked. So he picked it up to,
Okay.
at least try to salvage something.
See, I'm looking at you while you're describing that last play, and then I missed the extra.
But one of the things we saw on that touchdown pass, we've seen it maybe once or twice tonight. We saw where McBride doesn't really clear the line of scrimmage, but he's tall enough that he can still see over his line.
Yeah.
Because he takes one step back and he's hitting that quick slant. A lot of guys are going to take 3 step back, plant, and throw, but he's able to take pretty much 1 step back. He's still tall enough to see over his guys and deliver the pass. And inside the red zone, Teen's just a great receiver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've seen that from him quite often this year, and as the season has progressed.
He's not a big catch and run guy.
No.
But I mean, inside the red zone.
Well, he's gotten his 4th touchdown of the year.
Tying Parker Dean, so.
A little competition within the ranks tonight,
Exactly.
even. All right, Roshane.
Competition's always good.
It is. Just keep it friendly, right?
Let's see what Roshane does on this kick.
Oh. Yorktown's got it, Chris. The Yorktown Patriots have that ball back.
Surprising play right
there.
The last, right before the end of the half, they tried to pooch kick it before, and it went out of bounds. That time they were able to pretty much drill one of the up guys with the kick ball bounces off of them. Wow.
Up 37-14 with 7:53 to go here in the third.
The Patriots just scored, and they're looking for more.
Well, you got to. There's a lot of time left in this game.
Oh.
I mean, Wakefield could turn this thing around in a heartbeat. You never know. There's Tavon Brown. He's taken down from behind. Down goes Brown.
Going to lose a lot of yards there, maybe 6 yards on that carry. Like I said earlier, talking to Coach Hansen last night, he kept telling me, this is a big game. Mm-hmm. It's a big game. One of the things he told his players last week after the game is that, guys, it's been a long time since Yorktown had to face some adversity.
Right.
So we got to go rest ourselves and come back for a big week against Wakefield. Said they had a great week of practice, probably the best week of practice all season, and I think it's showing for the Patriots tonight.
Big week against Wakefield. Right now putting up big numbers of the Yorktown Patriots. That one's incomplete. 37-14. 7:06 to go.
At that time right there, you saw, Teen was covered, and McBride was able to fit the pass in there to where only Teen could catch it and kind of went right through his hands. Like I said, Teen's a great possession receiver inside the red zone.
Well,
and the open field, he's not so great. But I think that's just because he can be so sure-handed sometimes, and he does a good job of getting open in the red zone, which makes him so tough. In the open field, I don't think he's as quick as some of the DBs.
All right, this time McBride stays in the pocket. He's got a receiver. Incomplete. That was Tanner Patton over there. Good defense on the coverage there.
And they were in one of those positions where it's 3rd and 16, and they're just trying to salvage something. Patriots get the turnover, and in 3 downs they lose 6 yards. So if you're thinking Wakefield, no harm, no foul.
That's right. 7 minutes to go in the third.
And really, they threw 3 passes. So ran the ball once and threw 2 passes. So really didn't take any time off the clock.
No. All right, Roshane now. Long kick. Way over on the far side there. Roshane is now just getting up off the turf, limping a bit.
He took a shot, getting that punt off, but that's one of those things when you do those rugby-style kicks. Instead of kind of sitting back in the pocket and kicking the ball, they're choosing to do these rugby-style kicks tonight. Don't know if they're worried about the returners for Wakefield, and they're hoping if he gets a rugby-style kick going over and roll into those sidelines, he can still get the ball closer to the sideline. So if the ball may go out of bounds. Or if anything, it's moving the receiver over
and
as well.
The receiver
the
would not have as much.
has to move also.
Right. Not as much field to work with. There's Riley Wilson over on the far side, and he's taken down.
Not sure what happened on that play. It looks like they may have missed a handoff on that one.
Yeah, Wilson kept it.
And
I don't know. You're
Wilson had
right.
to keep it that time.
He may have.
Because at the end of the play, you saw the back kind of, slap his leg like he was a little frustrated. Don't know if that was the play call, if Wilson had the option to keep it or hand it off or what on that one.
Oh, this ball's now on the 6-yard line. Wilson with a give to the up man there.
And when you're in the shadows of your own goalposts, like the Warriors are here, you got to be careful.
Got to be very
They were
careful.
in this position earlier tonight, and we saw the pick six.
Yeah.
That Storrs was able to pick off the Wilson pass and score. So you got to be careful here, and especially when it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, third down, long here.
I wouldn't be surprised if we just see a handoff and try to get a few yards and punt.
Okay. Let's see if you got this one, Chris. This one's a pass out to the flat. This one's complete. Yep, that one was nice and complete there. Isaiah Archer, the 6'2", 150-pound junior, 55-pound junior,
And
I
he
should
was
say.
able to get just enough for the first down.
Just enough, yeah. So this ball now spotted at the 18-yard line.
Reminds me of a Stevie Wonder song, just enough.
Just enough. You remember that song? That's an old song, man. Well, I guess anything he does is old. We need to tell our viewers who Stevie Wonder is. So, 1st and 10. Ball was at the 18-yard line. Runner crosses the 20.
Looks like that was Simone that time.
4:55 and counting here in the third quarter. 37-14, Yorktown on top of Wakefield.
We've seen a couple guys run the ball for the Warriors tonight. We've seen Kareem Hall take a couple handoffs. We've seen Bennett Simone take a couple handoffs. And we've seen Leon Young take a lot of handoffs.
Yeah.
Young definitely seems like the power back. It seems like the other two are a little change of pace kind of speed guys for us.
All right, Wilson now, incomplete. That one intended for Zane Kokar.
Looks like it's just a little miscommunication that time. Looks like Kokar was looking on the inside, and Wilson rolled out a little bit and was looking on the outside. It's one of those things that there's a lot of times when you run a pattern, the receiver has the option of doing one, turn it inside, turn it outside, and it's you work all year so that the quarterback knows what the receiver is going to do.
Yeah.
If you see the guy on the inside, you're going to turn outside. But a lot of times, the quarterback and the receiver see things from two different perspectives, and that's when we get that miscommunication.
Timing is everything. Big play here for the Warriors, and that one is incomplete. Intended for Isaiah Archer.
If they call it pass interference on this one, that's a tough call right there.
That's a really tough call.
And that's going to be the call. I mean, the referee threw the flag emphatically. And when you throw it emphatically, it's usually like it's pretty blatant.
Yeah.
I think that one's a tough call right there.
Sorry, we do not have replays up tonight.
Yeah, I know people might call me a homer on that one, but I think that was a tough call.
Well, we can call you a homer. Everybody knows who you are.
But the Warriors pick up the first down on that penalty there. So
this is obviously automatic first down. So Warriors. Now Wilson looking up top. He's got a receiver. It's Isaiah Archer. He catches it at the Yorktown 30-yard line.
And just like that, right off of the penalty, right after the pass interference penalty, what do? You come back and you go back to the same receiver on the same DB. DB's going to be the defensive back's going to be a little timid because he already just got called for a questionable pass interference call.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you're really going to be careful this time.
They officially mark it at the Yorktown 29-yard line. 1st and 10, 4:05 to go here.
And just like that, you can feel a little momentum moving over to the Warriors side.
All right, there is the give. That is Kareem Hall. He gets close to the 25, maybe the 24-yard line. It's 3:45 to go here in the third quarter.
And one of the things that seems like to be a bit surprising for us is that we haven't seen Young take a handoff. In this quarter so far, the 2 drives or so that the Warriors had, they haven't given the ball to their big back yet. This time we see him out there in the slot position.
There is the fake to Hall. Riley Wilson keeps it, crosses at the 25 to about the 23-yard line.
So I don't know if that's one of those adjustments that that the coaches may have made in the locker room at halftime.
Right.
That, hey, the power guy's not going to do it for us. Let's start giving the speed guys a little bit more of the handoffs here. But I don't think we've seen – I think maybe we've seen him run the ball in the first play.
I believe so.
Of the drive, and then after, of their first drive. And then after that, I don't think he's touched the ball this quarter.
All right, Archer comes out. He'll take a break. Marquand Walton just entered the game. All right, Wilson on the fake, rolling. He's got a receiver open, tipped away at the last second. Tipped away right at the very last second. That would have been a touchdown, Chris.
Oh, he was open.
He was wide open.
He had a step. He had a step on the DBs. He was a couple steps behind the defensive backs. Great pass.
Yeah.
And you saw the defender just sell out to make the play. You really saw. The defender made a great play right there because the receiver was open. Great pass, and you just saw the defender just sell it all out right there.
And at the very last second, tip it away. Does it remind you of a certain play?
And it looks like it's 4th and 5 here, and the Warriors are going for it.
They are going for it. Wilson up top. He's got a receiver. It's Archer. Touchdown, Wakefield. No,
it's incomplete.
Boy, I thought he had that one. I called that one a little early by a second. I thought he had that one. But you know what, Christopher? I never saw that ball pop out. But yeah. I'm sure it
the
hit the ground somewhere.
They're a lot closer than we are.
They are a lot closer,
We're in a press box with no lights looking out of a screen. Without the HD monitor tonight.
Yeah, we don't have that tonight. We don't have our yellow line,
But at least we're inside. The last time we did a game here, we were al fresco.
We were.
Yes, on the other side of the field.
The other side of the field.
Amongst the people.
Yes. Amongst your people, Chris. these are your people, man. It's your kingdom. All right.
And that time we saw another good run by Tavon Brown. And I can't say it enough. You just see Brown is so good at this. He sets his blockers up very well. Yeah. He does that little pause, lets his blockers do what they're supposed to do. And then when the hole opens up, boom, he's gone.
What can Brown do
great
for you?
Great vision, good patience. I like seeing Brown go north and south better than I.
You like than cutting the edges,
and then
going on the edge.
He's trying to get on the outside, going east and west. He's so much more of an effective runner. Running north and south.
Well, there is a different kind of runner who goes around the edge on the other side.
We saw a couple of looks like late hits on the sidelines throughout the game, and I think they're finally going to call one of them. But Storr is different runner than Tavon Brown, and it's kind of funny because in the last 2 plays we see Tavon Brown kind of cutting it up, and then we see Storr taking it to the edge. And let me tell you, when you're DB and you're a defensive back and you see Storrs coming around that corner, I mean, it's just – you don't want any parts of that one.
Who'd you compare Stores to on that hit down there? That was off of the catch,
it was
though.
It was like
Walter
Walter
Payton.
Payton, Payton. You think about guys like Earl Campbell. You go old school because
That
the
is
guys
old
today
school.
don't run the ball like that anymore.
No, they don't. And just
They're making a lot more money.
Yeah, they are.
And
just so you
they
guys
don't run
out there,
like they used to.
no, those runners that Chris just mentioned and who we had mentioned earlier are some of the greatest running backs in NFL history. Here is a first down now for the Yorktown Patriots.
And I remember seeing that 34 for the baby
Bears,
blue.
Soldier.
The Oilers there,
The Oilers.
with the Ripperway jersey.
The Houston Oilers. Man, some of our viewers, Chris, don't even know that there was a Houston Oilers.
The Houston Oilers, think about like Bum Phillips.
Bum Phillips, Billy White Shoes Johnson, you remember him?
Yeah.
And the great touchdown dance?
Going old school tonight here.
Yeah. None of these dances match what they did back then.
Lost the 2 yards on that play,
Yep.
so it's 2nd and 12 for the Patriots.
Minute and a half to go here in the third.
And Yorktown's in no hurry.
No. All right, but out of the gun is McBride, looking over on the
that's a
far
great-
side. Yeah.
Great pass by McBride. Maybe a little low for the receiver, but it was perfect timing. The ball was right on the receiver when he came out of his break, and that's one of those things that you strive for. I mean, it was just maybe just a little low, and it might have jumped on the receiver a little bit quicker than he expected. But that's what you want when the guy comes out of his break. Boom, the ball's there. 3rd and 12, which is going to be a tough play here for the Patriots.
Okay, McBride now rolling to his left, being pressured, throws it up, and this one is complete to Ben Calvert, still on his feet, and he tight ropes the sidelines before he goes out of bounds. Good
Walking
run
the
by Calvert.
tightrope, running the rail, going down the sideline. Great pass by McBride there. Biding just a little bit of time and just kind of floating the ball out there.
He is. That was a nice one to have a replay on. That would have been good to see again.
Great play.
Yeah.
Calvert came across open late, and he was just able to just kind of float the pass over the linebacker, and there was nobody there between the linebacker and the DBs who were chasing the wide receivers running deep patterns. Calvert had yards there.
So they're now at the 18-yard line, threatening to score once again.
And I'm a little bit surprised here that Yorktown's coming out with, an empty backfield here, 5 receivers. I would think that they would still try to run the ball a little bit more.
McBride throws it. This one is complete over on the near side. And finally taken out of bounds, I believe. Is that Ben Calvert again? Yeah, that is Calvert again.
And Calvert was looking to score.
Yeah, he was.
He kind of looked
wasn't
like
going out
scores on that one. It's one of those things. There's Doc Walker, who I listen to in the radio a lot. He likes to make comments how things are a manhood issue. But that was a manhood issue right there. I mean, he's like, hey, I've been watching Stores try to drive these balls in here. Let me try.
The DOC has been around for a long time. He knows all about those kinds of issues when he played. All right, there is around the end. And this one's a Yorktown touchdown. Stores did it again.
Stores, every time I see him carry the ball like that, all I hear in my head is crank up the diesel. He just reminds me so much of Rigo.
Does he really?
You hear that guy crank up the diesel.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Crank up the diesel. John Riggins. And that one's good. So that Yorktown just running away with it now, Chris, 44-14. And you talk about John Riggins. Now that's one guy who was never afraid to take a hit or hit somebody either, just like the other list of names you came up with.
Those guys finish runs. This is not the game that we thought we were going to see tonight.
No, this isn't. 44-14. Not quite.
We
This
didn't
was,
expect
that was going
this
to be
many,
lower scoring for sure.
We weren't expecting this many points, and to be honest, I was waiting for this defensive battle that I thought we were going to get. I knew we had two good offenses, but we also have two good defenses.
Yeah.
And I thought defense was going to prevail. The good news that we did get a little earlier was that the Wakefield player who was injured earlier seems to be, doing okay.
That is good news.
They're running some tests, but he's moving, talking. He's talking about he's coming back to play next week. So that's a positive right there, very uplifting. But when you have a situation like that, it's really hard to overcome that. And once we talked about it right after the injury, that these are high school kids.
Right.
It's really tough to kind of overcome that, and that might be one of the reasons why this game's kind of getting out of hand a little bit.
There's a little slow bouncer over on the far side. Wakefield this time did not lose that one. They kept that one.
And it stayed in bounds, too.
And stayed in bounds, yeah. So, Chris, you think even this far into the game, because that injury occurred quite a while ago now, that this still could have some effect on at least the Wakefield
I think so.
sideline?
I think they heard the announcement. The whole crowd cheered. But I think still in the back of your mind, you still got to know that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And then also one of the things that Coach Hogwood talked about is that his kids can't pay attention to the name on the jersey.
Right.
They can't be worried about, hey, this is Yorktown. Yorktown's been good for several years. They can't worry about that. And Bruce Hansen said, he didn't think those guys were scared of him. So, it's
ball at the 40-yard line now.
And that was Kareem Hall carrying the ball right there once again. And I don't know if it's an injury situation, or maybe Hogwood thinking the game is getting out of hand. Let me save my young running back here. Because we got to remember, Young's only a junior, so he's coming back next year.
He will be back.
He's already carried the ball over 100 times already this season. So just really surprising that we haven't seen Young get the ball much this half.
Okay, there is a handoff.
And that was Kareem Hall again.
And that was Kareem Hall once again. Yeah, I'm looking for number 24 on the sidelines.
No, he's out on the field. Looks like they're lining up in the wing back position, kind of in the slot.
Well, that is the end of the third quarter, Mr. Williams, and it is 44-14.
Yeah,
Yorktown on top.
Really surprising.
Yeah, it is a bit of a surprise. I thought it was going to be a much closer game. I was really, anticipating a good game, a close game, an exciting game. And actually, the excitement is still there. There's a lot of high energy on both teams, on both sides of the ball.
And it's one of those things that, when you get into these inter-county rivalry-type games, you throw the records out the window. I mean, the records of the two teams don't mean anything. Because, you have the Warriors. The Wakefield's been on a roll all season. One loss, and that was the Hayfield. But, 6 games and 1 setback. That's a great year. And it's been a great season for Wakefield. It's kind of a resurgence of Wakefield football. And so and the Patriots have struggled a little bit. They're 3-3. I talked to Bruce, and, love to have the Falls Church game back. That's the game we felt like he let them off the hook a couple times. Wakefield went in there the next week, and beat Falls Church.
Wilson looking.
So the 3 Arlington schools have all 3 played Falls Church.
Yeah.
And at one of those things, it's, Washington Lee went and beat Falls Church. And then Wakefield beat them.
But Wakefield, at the very last second, they did.
So,
they had to come back in that game.
You look at that common opponent, and it's like, well,
Falls Church is no slouch, though, Chris.
Right, exactly.
They're good last year and this year.
Oh, yeah. It's it's kind of like Wakefield is now.
Right. Right.
You used to, hey, when I was at Bridgewater College, we were everybody's homecoming game. We were struggling. They've since the program has definitely improved, and they played a national title game a couple years ago. But I mean, we were every away game we were somebody something. Homecoming, Parents' Day. We when they came out with the schedule. I mean, they were scheduled homecoming in September when we were on the schedule.
Yeah, in September.
So I mean,
you played 3-4 homecomings a year? Is that what you said?
Played a couple homecoming games. Played in the Shriners Pretzel Bowl. Up against Albright College one year.
Yeah.
Played in a couple cigar bowls against Washington Lee University. So we were the guys.
The good old days.
Glad to see that the program's turned around since my time there. But
it has nothing to do with you.
I hope
that it turned around.
Exactly. First and 10 for the Patriots here on their own 15-yard line, 17-yard line. And that was Stores again taking a handoff, and I don't know what to think. There've been we're seeing Tavon Brown running in between the tackles. We're seeing Stores take it outside. We haven't seen Leon Young carry the ball.
Calvert's doing all kinds of things with it.
It's
Leon Young he's disappeared the second half.
It's almost it's almost like the NFL preseason games now. We're just gonna kind of go vanilla.
Yeah.
And just not put everything we have on tape.
All right, McBride under center. There's a handoff, nothing doing right there. So this time they try to go up the middle and they got stuffed. 10:45 to go in the fourth quarter.
And it's third and a lot.
Third and forever, as I like to say.
Looks about third and 18 here. You're backed up in your own end. Just at this point, you're just trying to get yards. Just give the punter a little bit more yards to kick. Want to get a few more yards so he's not punting the ball out of the end zone.
All right, there's the throw on the far side.
Incomplete. They say the receiver was out of bounds. A few years ago, you can say when it gets to this, it's in the fourth quarter, one team's up by 30 points. You're going to see you got white jerseys on one team and white pants on the other team.
Right.
You say you're going to see a lot of guys in white get out there in the field. But you don't see that anymore these days with so many of these teams playing on AstroTurf. Well, I should say field turf now.
Field turf, yeah. As we call it.
It's a different game when you're not seeing the mud and the dirt.
All right, here is now the punt. That is that Leon Young that was there, the single safety.
And you see Hirshani once again picking himself up off of the field.
Yeah.
Bad snap that time. Looked like the ball kind of rolled back there to him. He kind of rolled there, and that's one of the things you don't want to do when you're punting out of your own end zone. I mean, that's why you want to try to get the ball out a little bit more so he's not kicking out of the end zone. Because if there is a bad snap, it won't lead to a touchdown.
No.
But if he's able to still get a decent kickoff, it looks like the Warriors are going to take over on the Yorktown 35-yard line.
Yep, they have pretty good field position now, do the Warriors, down 44-14 with 10 minutes to go here.
And if they want to do anything, they got to try to get points in this drive right here. They got to get something out of this one.
Okay, Wilson now, he's staying in the pocket. He's looking deep. Incomplete.
And one of the things when you're trying to throw the ball deep, especially throw the ball deep down the seam, if your receiver ain't going to catch it, nobody's going to catch it.
You better just throw it away. You make sure your receiver can run up after it or just come back and live another day. Make it second down, as we see here.
Not going to get called for intentional grounding when you throw the ball over all of them.
That's right. So now there's a nice run. Crosses to the 25-yard line, picks up a nice chunk of yardage there. Riley Wilson on the keeper.
Quarterback draw that time.
Yeah.
Because the Patriots are thinking they're up by 30 points. It's in the fourth quarter, under 10 minutes to go. They're going to have to pass the ball to get back into the game. So there's a great play call by the Wakefield coaching staff. Coach Hogwood there, got plenty of positive yards.
Okay, this time out of the gun now, Riley Wilson. He's looking up to his left side. He's got a receiver, and this one's a touchdown. I believe that was Marquay Walton. Marquay Walton with a nice catch in the corner of the end zone. Yes, great
pass and catch that time. Looks same play that they ran down here in the other end zone that was incomplete.
That's right.
They were able to complete this pass this time, so they definitely saw something and came back to it.
All right, pending this extra point, 44-20. Yorktown on top. Ben Klein's kick is good, 44-21 with 9.5 to go. Chris,
still in the ball game.
Yeah, they are. 9.5 minutes.
Still plenty of time left.
Yeah.
Still in the ball game. If they wanted to stay in this ball game, they had to get points on that drive right there, and it took them 3 plays to get a score. So they're still in the game. It didn't take a lot of time. Didn't take a lot of time off the clock, and you saw the effectiveness of Wilson at quarterback. He's able to complete the passes, and then when he had to, he was able to make the big run.
Yeah, that was a huge run he made on that sneak, on that quarterback draw. That kept the drive alive.
And completed the passes. I mean, that was just a beautiful pass right there in the in the corner of the end zone there. Walt made a great catch.
What do you do here?
You kick it deep.
Okay.
You kick it deep. Yorktown hasn't done much the last few times they had the ball. They've had the punt. Look kind of disorganized on offense.
Yeah.
So you kick it deep. You pin them back there. And then you hope you get another 3 and out. You get a punt. You get good field position.
All right, let's see how.
You don't want to do an onside kick to give them good field position.
See how Deep Klein kicks this one. This one takes a bounce at the 20-yard line. Picked up by Yorktown Patriot. Gets up to the 25, the 24, and then driven back.
Parker Dean.
That was Parker Dean again, right?
Short-handed receiver.
Yeah.
He's a senior. Knows what he's doing out there. Knows when to catch the ball, knows when to let the ball go out of bounds. Coach trusts him. And that time you saw right there, picked up the short kick. I'm not going to try to run, to get in the middle. I'm just going to run forward, get what I can get. And that, smart play right there.
I think, at every level, but especially even at the high school level, you got to have that. There's always 1 or 2 players that your head coach just absolutely believes in. I think Jordan Smith was like that when he was a quarterback. Here we go with a first down play now. McBride with the throw. I think that is Tavon Brown who caught it on the near side, and he's taken out
that time.
That Teen? Okay. Yep, number 2, not number 7.
Yep.
But Jordan Smith was like that too, I always thought that he was just
and I'm
trusted whatever Smith would do.
I'm big surprised, a bit surprised here that Yorktown's not running the football.
Well, they did come out on the first. This is the first play on that possession, and they did pass it. Let's see what they do now.
They were in a shotgun pretty much most of the last possession.
Yeah.
I really would think that they would try to run the ball here, try to run a little clock, because they're in control of the game right now.
Well, here we go with McBride under center. Again, looking for a pass into the flat. That one is complete. And then finally out of bounds. Good catch. And then a quick run.
That was Tavon
Brown, yes.
And one of those things, he has to stay in bounds.
Yeah. That one he should have stayed in bounds, right?
The clock is your friend.
Yeah. You want to try to keep it inside between the numbers now.
And Wakefield just scored pretty quick on that last drive.
They did.
So you just don't want to have a turnover here, interception, pick 6. I mean, they're right back in the ballgame.
Well, remember, Yorktown started this possession off with 9.5 to go after Wakefield had scored. It's 8:53 to go, so not much clock, even though they've had 2 good completions. All right, under center now again is McBride, and with the pitch. This time and again, out of bounds. And that is Jack Storrs. 8:47 to go.
Looks like he's going to be short
Yeah.
of the first down. Down marker hasn't moved yet. Oh, wow.
Well,
Call it a first down. Like we said, we are up here in the press box with no lights on.
yeah, we have.
Because when the lights are on, there's such a glare, it's really hard to see what's going on the
Yeah.
field.
There is, and
Beautiful new complex here at Wakefield. One of the things we wish that they would have done maybe is to upgrade the lights.
yeah.
But, you know.
Well, I'm glad you're here, partner, because you can see some of these numbers better than me.
The whole layout here is just gorgeous.
It is. I do like it a lot. Is that Mr. Stores again?
That Stores again, just
Yeah.
kind of chewing up yards.
And while you didn't get anything off of that much yardage-wise, the clock ticks.
Clock's running.
See, when Wakefield scored, there was 9:30 left. We're just inside of 8.5 minutes after about, six Yorktown plays. So,
And I think this is what the Patriots need to do for the rest of the evening.
just run the ball and stay between the numbers.
Yep. You know, standing over here looking, you know, once we got here tonight, first time being in the new Wakefield Stadium
Yeah.
here, I mean, it rivals a lot of, you know, Division III, Division II college stadiums. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful complex.
Oh, it is. All right, McBride back to pass in the flat. This one is complete. And I believe that is Parker Denny who catches it, and he falls, and he's right at their 30-yard line.
And there you see that
There's-
senior leadership,
Yeah.
you know, just, hey, I caught the pass, almost went out of bounds, and remember, hey, let me
stay
fall
in.
down.
Yeah.
You know, and then we got a late flag on
Yeah,
the
there's
end
a
of that
late
play.
one, yeah.
Looks like it's going to be against the defense. Might be a late hit.
Well, they'll tack on some more.
But looks like they're marking it off against the offense.
Yep.
Haven't seen the signal yet from the referee.
It is certainly of the 15-yard variety, though. The man in the white hat has not signaled. Did you get a call on that?
Referees never signal anything.
No, 15-yard penalty against Yorktown. Assume it was maybe a personal foul of some sort. There's McBride now, and he hands off the ball, nothing doing. Brown gets
Yeah,
stuffed. He loses
you know,
about 3 yards.
You know, Frank had it, the PA announcer, where he said, I missed a call. And he didn't. There was no call.
There was no call, yeah.
You know, so we don't know if it happened. You know, obviously it happened during the play because it wasn't a dead ball. Because
Right.
if it was a dead ball,
It
the
would've-
Patriots had picked up enough for the first
Yeah.
down. So there was something happened. We'll
All
never
right.
know.
We are, what is this now, 3rd down. McBride looking to the left. He's got a receiver. That one is complete.
That was Teen
And dare
once
I
again.
say it, that's Charlie Teen, yes.
And it seems like whenever the Patriots need a completed pass, you know, they've been able to find Teen, and Teen's been able to get open.
Yeah.
And he's a short-handed receiver. You know, he's not going to outrun anybody to the end zone,
No, that's why he plays the slot a lot.
but
so.
he's going to catch the football. That's why he's a go-to guy when they get inside the red zone there. Patriots doing what they're supposed to do here.
That's
Move the
right.
ball down the field and run the clock.
Ball on the 34, 6:45 to go. 4th quarter. McBride this time looking. Wakefield says they intercepted,
And so do the referees.
and then the referees do too. It's Wakefield's ball with 6:35 to go. So Wakefield with a turnover. And they'll get the ball.
And that was a close call right there because typically if it's a simultaneous catch, it goes to the offense.
It
But,
does,
you
yeah.
know,
As a tie, they always say the tie goes to the runner.
But, you know,
Offense
that was
gets the
also
ball.
the referee who made the emphatic pass interference call also.
Yeah.
So he sees things a little bit different than we're seeing him
Well,
from up here.
we're-
But he's a lot closer to the action.
He is.
And let's see what the Warriors do here. The Warriors can come out. They need to come out and get another one of those quick scoring drives. You know, they're still in the ball game.
All right, 6.5 to go. Let's see what they do. And right now they're going for a quick one. He's got a receiver. That one is off the fingertips.
And that was Mr. Young.
Yes.
First time we called his name in a while.
That is the first time, yeah. Off his fingertips. And he was open, Chris.
He was running stride for stride with
Yeah.
the defender, but once the ball got in the air,
He
he
made some
put in
separation.
another gear, and you
Yeah.
saw some separation.
All right, second down 10, 6:28 to go here from Wakefield High School. 44-21. Yorktown on top of the Warriors. Low snap. Wilson will keep this one. Turns the corner, gets some yardage, crosses the 40, gets the first down.
Picks it the first down,
Yeah.
and in high school, when you get a first down, the clock stops
Yes.
momentarily until the ball is placed and chains are set, and then it's going to restart. But a lot of times you're able to get in and out of your huddle quick enough that you're really not burning too many of those precious seconds off the clock.
6:18 left. Now the official calls for the clock to run. 6:15 and counting here in the fourth quarter.
Thought we'd see a little bit more of a sense of urgency from the Warriors in this drive.
Not seeing too much of it.
You know, but they kind of stayed in the huddle a little bit longer than I expected. And it's going to be 20, 23, 25 seconds before they run the next play.
Okay, there is a handoff right up the middle. Not going much there as we enter 5:50 now.
Leon Johnson, the run.
It's a ball now at about the 41-yard line. Wakefield
First-
on their own 41.
Probably only second run we've seen from
Yeah.
Young this half.
That is the second run. Wilson now gives it to on the end around. That is Bemnet Semoun again, right? We've seen him do that a few times tonight. The 5'8", 145-pound senior.
Third and short here. We've seen two back-to-back running plays by the Warriors. I'm looking for two receivers this time. I'm looking for number 80, Isaiah Archer.
I know
And
who
I'm
the other
looking
one
for the
is.
big man, number
Number
99, Justin Moore.
Justin Moore. Justin Moore, 6'2", 216
And we
pounds.
did see Young go down the seam one time and get open. This time we're going to see him in the backfield. So
We'll see what they do. There is Young. He goes to the outside, cuts it back in, gets to the Yorktown 40, still on his feet. 35, driving down towards the 30-yard line.
Leon Johnson, the run. Back to three.
And that's the first time we've seen Young
Yeah.
break one all night. And so maybe kind of rested him a little bit. He's able,
Refreshed.
fresh legs here in the fourth quarter.
Fresh legs going
And that
against a
was a
tired
big
Yorktown
run.
defense.
Big run by the running back right there.
Yeah, fresh legs going against that tired defense right now, right?
Exactly.
So, all right, Chris, 4:10 to go here.
If you're the Warriors, clock's not your friend right now.
No, they
You gotta
are
try
playing
to-
with that sense of urgency.
You
You're
got to
right.
hit that quick strike here.
All right, Riley out of the gun again. He keeps it. Now he throws it. Incomplete.
Seeing one of the Yorktown defensive linemen hop off of the field.
For that incompletion, clock stops with 3:53 to go.
Got to find points. Got to find some points here if you're the Warriors. The clock stopped that time, so they could kind of take their time in the huddle a little bit to dial up the right play here. But you got to look to score.
There is a handoff again. I believe that is Young. Is that correct?
If that was number 20 that time,
Kareem Hall. Okay. You can see that from up here? Man, you got that the laser eyes.
Still got 2020 and keeping my fingers
You got the
crossed.
2020 on Kareem Hall.
I can hold on to it as long as I can.
Yeah, well, I've had these bad boys for a long time, man.
And I think one of the things that we are seeing from Wakefield is that what they're doing, it might not be enough time to get all the points back here, but let's go back to do what we do. Let's come back out there and do what we do, run our offense, do what's given us success all season.
Yeah. Here's something that Riley Wilson's doing that was successful. Scrambling. He throws it up for grabs, though. Incomplete. 2:58 to go.
And Wilson just does a great job of just getting just enough time. I mean, he just enough time to get the pass off every time.
Dangerous pass there, but
dangerous
44,
pass,
21.
but
right. He was
but
trying to make something out of nothing.
It's third down, it's 3rd and 5. You got to do something.
Yeah.
One of the things that I am impressed with is that I don't think either one of these guys have been sacked tonight. We've seen a lot of balls thrown in the air
under pressure,
and we haven't seen any of these guys sacked yet. Counter play for the Warriors going to pick up big yardage.
That is nice chunky yardage right there.
And that was Young once again taking the inside counter that time.
2:52 to go. We will be back here next week, Stewart and Wakefield. And then, of course, we'll finish it up with the 2 Arlington County games. So,
and next week, you're going to have your old partner back. I'm going to step aside.
Yes, you will. And then
you're
going to
have your old partner, Chris Jerry, back, the Stewart guy. So it's,
It should be fun. There's Wilson with a complete pass. And I believe that is your big guy there, Justin Moore. What did you call us, old school, the other day?
If folks at home, if you guys want to get nostalgic just a little bit, you go back and you watch some of these old Arlington Independent Media games from the 80s and the 90s, and you'll see
not the 80s, man. Come on.
You'll see Chris Jerry and Afshin Banab. And it was so great when Yorktown played Stewart to see these guys back together again.
That's right.
I could go home and watch some of the old VHS maybe, of some of the games that they did when I was playing at Yorktown.
Oh, my. All right, there's the pitch. That is to Leon Young. He spins out of that tackle, still on his feet, taken down by a handful of jersey there.
Looks like that was Chris Saulnier at that time.
It was Chris Saulnier.
But one of the things, it's really cool. It was really cool to be in the booth with you guys that night, because you guys haven't done a game together in years.
Yeah, we didn't. It's been a while.
But it was kind of cool watching like 2 Cowboys get in the saddle again and just ride the trail.
2 old Cowboys.
Didn't miss a beat.
All right, handoff again to Young. He gets stopped right around the 10-yard line. 1:35 to go, 44-21. But I appreciate you doing these games with us up here in the booth. And
driving down here tonight, I was thinking, the first game that I did with you guys was here at Wakefield 3 years ago.
Was that the first time?
First time I did a game with you was here at Wakefield.
Okay.
And it was Wakefield against Washington Lee.
Okay.
And it's the first time that I did the game with you 3 years ago, so it's been a lot of fun.
Good.
I love getting a text message from you asking me if I can come join you.
If for some reason Chris cannot fulfill his obligations, then we always go to the runner-up next week. But seriously, Chris, I enjoy having you here, and I just love how you explain the game, and that's something. And you do it with like passion in your eyes. I'll sit there and watch you sometimes when you're talking. So it's a pleasure to have you here, and someone who's so knowledgeable about.
It's a lot of fun. I tell people all the time, and I come up here with you, and I have so much fun. It's fun because I enjoy watching football.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you're so great at what you do that it's just
no, thank you, but
I try to fill in so that we don't have any of that
Oh, you
awkward
kidding?
dead time. You
Yeah.
know, let's hope I. I just try to hope that I can live up to what you've done and the many years that you've been doing these games here. At
30
Arlington
seconds
Independent
left.
Media.
30 seconds left. That one's complete across the middle. 23 seconds left. Clock stops right there. Riley Wilson with a good completion. I believe that was Archer.
Because I think one of the things that I think is so unique, Abshin, is that you come out here and you do these football games.
I love doing them.
And then during basketball season,
We're here.
you're doing basketball. And then I look up one night, and you have a makeshift booth out in left field at the Yorktown, and you're doing
Oh,
a
there's
softball.
girls softball,
You're doing
yeah.
a girls softball game. I
That
mean,
is
I
a
just
lot of
think.
fun.
I mean, you're talking. There's not too many guys who can do that these days. You got, you got Buck.
Buck.
Buck's probably. You got Buck, maybe Nance. But
Hello,
I mean,
friends.
But there's not a lot of guys, who are that versatile who can do three different sports like that you're able to do.
Oh, I bet you could do it. I'll tell you what, you have so much fun talking about football as we're winding down the game here, 5 seconds now, that I'd love to talk to you about golf because I know that is also another passion of yours, and you are a coach here at Yorktown of one of the golf teams. So,
and I want to say, I'll get this little plug out there, Michael Shea came out with AIM, and they covered a golf match between Yorktown, Washington Lee, and Stewart, and they also covered a golf match between Hayfield and
Interesting,
Wakefield.
okay.
And I got Michael sent me the YouTube link this week, and I was able to watch it, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Watching our kids out there play on Arlington Independent Media,
Right.
and the great job that Michael did with that. It was really
and
awesome.
I'll tell you, Michael loves doing it. He's trying to always hit golf, and he tries to hit a lot of the sports that a lot of people don't cover. A lot of other stations, a lot of other independent media stations do not cover, and golf, softball, and cross country, and all of that. Christopher, my friend, 44-21, Yorktown on top. Your Patriots on top of the Wakefield Warriors. It has been an honor and a pleasure once again.
I enjoy it.
Oh man,
I come
Thank
along
you.
for the ride.
Yorktown 44, Wakefield 21 for Christopher Williams. I'm Afshin Banab, and for the rest of the Arlington Independent Media crew, good night. We will be back here next week for Wakefield and Stewart. Take
Good night,
care, everybody.
Riley.